What's the Deal is a platform for thought,
intelligent discussion, and debate.
Our goal is to educate ourselves as well as our audience,
And to get to the bottom of the BS.
while shining a light on positive works.
Now, while we don't claim to be experts,
We do research the topics we discuss thoroughly.
and there will be authority figures on the show discussing a lot of these topics with us as well.
The content of this show is based on our research, our opinions, and the opinions of experts appearing on this program. The information we provide is not intended to replace the advice of your doctor or other professionals. However, we do strongly suggest that you look into and research your condition or situation, get second opinions, and become involved and take an active part in your own health care.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. My name's Dave West.
And I'm Lorraine Dorothy.
Well, today's guest is Clyde Merrick. Clyde Merrick is, well, first of all, a rockin' drummer, a rockin' vocalist. I mean, you guys rock. They're in a band, Ruckus, here locally. He's also high school security at Quartz Hill High School, right down the street. So today we're obviously going to be talking about some of the happenings in schools, bullying, what the schools are doing to tighten up security and make things a little safer. Also, today we have a far out food fact, and we're going to introduce a new segment today, which is our charity of the week.
And can I just say that your set is fantastic?
Thank you.
You guys have done a fine job on the set. Looks
Thanks.
great. It really does. Looks great.
Thanks. Yeah, we tried green screen, and at the end of the day, we just don't have the physical space to get it done.
Fair enough.
And you just really have to know what you're doing.
Oh, it's an editing nightmare.
Yeah, it just doesn't really work, and we don't know what we're doing with it.
Right.
So the thing I did was to build a set. 20.
Well, you did a fine job because it
This
looks
is
great.
more
I like
our
it.
personality anyway.
That's
This
right.
is us.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Looks great.
Oh, this has our
I
stank.
saw your pilot show, by the way, and I thought it was great. And I actually commented to myself, "Well, the background looks awesome."
Yeah.
And I know you guys did it yourselves, so
Yeah, no, it's
really nice work.
Yeah, it was pretty challenging. I've got 25 years of theater, building sets in that arena, and it's just completely different than the whole film and television thing. So I will say this, everybody out there, when you're watching your favorite show or checking out a cool flick or anything of that nature, man, hats off totally to all of the people that do all the stuff they do to make it happen.
Here, here.
It's set design, construction, it's makeup, it's lights, it's wardrobe, costumes, all of it. It's just amazing. And it is way different than theater. Theater's cool, it's just different. But
Well, you can get away with more with theater.
yeah, theater's just a lot more flexible. It's not so crucial.
Absolutely.
The only difference with television, though, live stuff, is there's no do-overs. Well, there's not in theater either. But anyway,
Yeah, fair enough.
It's all gnarly stuff, and it's super fun. But thank you all out there so much for what you do to create stuff for us to get away from our stuff and have some
Definitely.
fun and get scared or whatever it is we like to do.
We might even learn something.
Yeah?
Yes,
You might learn something.
We
You
are
never know.
huge documentary fans,
Yeah.
Here, here.
and it doesn't matter what you're doing out there. It's all counts.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay, so, well, before we dig in today, we had an experience. For those of you who caught the show last time, you know I'm a concrete finisher, and for those of you who haven't, I'm a concrete finisher by day. And, well, there's not much work up here right now, so I got hooked up with a company that does gas station stuff at the convenience stores. And so we got a call to go down by the beach. Great. Awesome. We're in. 4 days. They pay for the room and all that. We get down there. It's not the greatest neighborhood by any means. It's extremely dangerous. We parked the car so she could take a nap to let the room get ready. Homeless people try to break into the car and get the stuff in the car. The next day, we're pouring concrete out. There's a guy across the street screaming and yelling at us. The next thing we know, bam, he's on our side of the street screaming and yelling. It's just like, dude, what? He picks up a steel pipe and goes after the tractor driver.
Wow.
Tractor driver picks up an iron stake. It's Game of Thrones, game on.
Wow.
I mean, clank, clank, clank. I mean, seriously, man,
Wow.
Knights of the Round Table stuff. And so the cops are called. They haul the guy off.
This is all in front of your eyes.
Yes, this is all just happening right
Wow.
here. And what's worse is that guy could even had a gun.
Yeah.
True enough.
I mean, he could have had a gun. I mean, the guy was just on serious drugs or whatever. Go to the room. The same night we go to the room. Well, first of all, before we go to the room, we go to Pep Boys. I have a headlight out. Get a headlight in the parking lot, swapping the headlight out. Drug deals going on everywhere.
Wow.
Just eyes down, changing headlight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Get back to the room, get ready to crash. All of a sudden, gunshots in the park, right outside our window. I mean, I was born and raised around guns. I can tell you if a gun is 25 feet away or 150 feet away. It was just right on the other side of our glass.
Right.
Grab her, throw her off the bed. She grabs a cell phone. I mean, I'm just screaming, hit the dirt. She grabs a cell phone, calls 911 twice.
Wow.
No luck. It's just like you're on your own. No help is
Just a
coming.
recorded message.
No cavalry is coming. So here we are with gunshots, and we're just on the ground.
Wow. Well, and no cavalry's on its way.
No.
And I
And
can
a gun would have
assure
been-
you,
That unsettling, though. So unsettling to call 911 with shots being fired 20 feet from you.
yeah.
And no one's coming.
Right, right. I would have to say that if you were at a school, probably anywhere USA, that reaction would have been very different.
Yeah.
I'd like to
Because
think so.
I hope
if
so.
if a 911 call comes out at any one of our schools, talking about an active shooter, all bets are off. Anything could happen in the community because everybody's going to that school.
Right.
I
can
would hope
assure
so.
you. Yeah, it would be an instantaneous thing. We don't have necessarily a direct line to the president necessarily,
Right.
but we do have a resource officer on the campus, an LA County deputy sheriff, who is automatically on dispatch and right away should something bad happen. Perish the thought, but it's possible. 23 school shootings in the first 21 weeks of 2018.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's just
at
crazy.
school. These are school shootings.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. We
Yeah,
see
the
them on the
stat
news.
is amazing. It's
Well,
an amazing stat.
The school shooting at Highland High.
That's
You know what I mean?
It's in our own community.
That's in our
Sure.
own community.
Sure
I mean,
is.
we own a live production company. We do systems design, sound systems design, install, and maintenance.
Sure.
And that school is one of our schools that we cater to. We
Sure.
keep maintenance on their PA system. We have friends whose kids have gone to that school.
Absolutely. Me
and
too.
And yeah, it's just,
Sure.
it's crazy. So when we saw it on the news, it was like, what? You know, in your own backyard.
Yeah, it really was in our own backyard. And being at Quartz Hill High School as I was that day, a very memorable day for everybody, as every school in the district went to lockdown immediately.
Wow.
But we're the closest high school to Highland.
Yeah.
So that gave us a little extra bit of tension, knowing that we're the next, school over, if you will, at that age group.
Right.
Not the very next school, that's for sure, but we're certainly the next in the same age group where that happens. So, and also, I'm security at Quartz Hill High School. I could very easily be security at Highland High School or any other high school in the district. My point being that I have brethren that had to endure
Yeah.
that horrific day, and it was very much so a horrific day.
Right.
I was in contact with one of my brethren that was on that campus that day, and at around 9:30 in the morning, he told me he was still in lockdown, and he really didn't know what was going on.
Wow.
And here I am trying to direct traffic in the parking lot of Quartz Hill High School. Meanwhile, he's hunkered down in a classroom and doesn't know where the shooter is, or if the shooter still is, or if the shooter
Right.
has gone somewhere.
Right.
They don't know. And there's a certain set of panic, type of panic that sets in for that,
Sure.
unaware of what's going on around you. It's very nerve-wracking. It's a
Right.
very nerve-wracking experience, and it was
Scary.
tough for me as security at one school to know that my brothers in security in another school not far from me are going through what they're going through. It was terrible.
Wow.
It was no fun at all. And that shooter was well planned out, well thought out, and never went through a door. No, he never went through any sort of metal detector. He didn't go through any entrance whatsoever. He hopped a wall
Wow.
and brought a Russian SKS assault rifle in 2 pieces in a guitar case.
Wow.
Let me tell you what, folks, it turns security in high schools on its head.
Because he
Spun it
avoided
around.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is now any kid with any sort of extra bag. I don't care if it's a backpack or if it's a guitar case,
Sure.
if there's a trumpet or a clarinet in it, I'm going to be looking in it and seeing what is in that case. You know, I'm not going to, grab a kid by his, collar and say, bring that case over here, son.
Right.
That's not how it goes.
Right.
It's a very cordial thing. We're laughing. We're trying to make the student understand why this is happening,
Right.
et cetera, et cetera. It's not a vicious thing, but it is certainly a right that we have as school officials to inspect those bags on a whim, really,
Right.
even more so than a deputy sheriff.
I should hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me ask you this: what is in the works? I mean, what are plans? I mean, is it metal detectors? Is it more people out on the field so people can't hop fences? I mean,
Yeah, more security, more security, more security. But also, what does that mean? More money. So
Sure.
there's no easy solution, folks. It's a soft target. There's a lot of soft targets that you walk in every single day, whether it's the grocery store,
Right. Sure.
a local city park,
Right.
or whatever have you. These are the things that are being targeted, not necessarily another government from another government. So that makes it tough.
well, there was just that shooting in Illinois.
In Aurora.
Yeah, the guy gets fired or whatever like that,
Right.
comes back and
Right. Another
Yeah.
soft target, the workplace.
right.
Yeah.
And a school happens to be my workplace, so I've
Right.
got a double whammy there.
Well, at the end of the day, we're not really safe anywhere.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's just
particularly again as a soft target walker, if you will. You know what I mean? You're going to the movies.
Right.
There's been incidents that have happened like that.
Sure.
If we all remember the opening night of Batman,
Right.
Right.
70
Oh, I-
some odd people were shot that night.
I think about
Absolutely.
it every time we go to the movies. I
Right.
mean, somebody
Sure.
walks into the auditorium, I'm looking, and that's,
Sure.
Looking-
So
what
training.
can you do?
Training is another thing, Dave, that is a huge deal in our line of work. Let me tell you something. Let's not make any bone about it. I have a right to live.
yes.
Okay.
We all do.
Oh, yes.
I don't
you
wear a
do.
bulletproof vest. I do not have a firearm, a weapon of any type. I have a set of handcuffs, and that's not going to help me with a shooter.
No.
Right.
So it's easy to say I would try and do something to stop the shooter. That's heroic, and there's a lot of bravado and yada yada. What are you really going to do in that situation? I
Sure.
spoke to some of my friends that were really in that situation. It's not that easy thing to just say, well, I do this and I do that. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know
There's
until
no
you've
way to
lived
know.
that.
Yeah, you've definitely
You
got to
won't
be
know.
under the gun.
Correct,
I mean?
Mundo.
Right.
But I'll tell you what is a big help for that kind of thing is training. And we do situational things. We have dummies set up that are laying in the quad as though that they are injured people.
Right.
Perhaps even fatalities or severe injuries, and et cetera. And we make believe these things are happening, but it gives you that extra step, that extra edge that you may not have otherwise had.
Right.
Just so that you understand, wait a minute, I have to go this and I have to go do that
Right,
in your
well-
training mindset.
Right. But as each incident occurs, people just learn more
You bet.
to aid with training.
You
You
absolutely.
know what I mean? So there's always updates on training and stuff
Sure.
like that.
If someone comes up to me and says, hey, there's somebody inside this classroom in a pink shirt that has drugs. Well, do you go in and look for somebody in a pink shirt? Or do you go in and look for somebody that has pink written on their shirt?
Oh,
Oh, wow.
See, so it's these little things of training that help you to decide
Right.
who it is we're after in that kind of a situation with drugs on the campus, and that happens frequently,
Right.
particularly in the recreation and legal age that we live in this state. Even though these high school students are not of legal age, the drugs still come on campus.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Well, they were-
but those are the kinds of things you're looking for.
and they were there when we were in school.
Sure, I was going to
Of
say
course,
that's always been the
absolutely,
case.
and frankly, so were firearms.
Right.
Guns were too.
Yeah,
it
but
just
nowhere-
it wasn't anywhere anything like
Nowhere
it is.
near. I mean,
not
when
at
I,
all.
when I was in school, we all had pocket knives.
Sure,
You just
sure.
had like a little buck pocket knife.
Sure.
It's no big deal. You didn't have like a straight dagger.
Sure.
Or anything like that. But,
But
you know.
that same knife today will get you walked off of campus in handcuffs with a felony on your record.
Well, sure.
Wow.
It's a weapon.
Well, times have changed.
Yeah, that's
They've just
exactly
changed.
right.
I mean, when I was a kid, I played with G.I. Joes.
Sure.
We built Hot Wheel cities.
Right.
You know, we went outside and played.
Right.
And all
Yeah,
of that.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And,
You
well,
bet.
Yeah, times
Times
they
have
just
definitely
changed.
changed. You
Well,
bet.
now there's a whole bullying thing that's going on.
Yes.
Social media.
Social
Under pressure,
media.
My God.
Social media is something else. Now there's something we never engaged in with
No.
folks that have the gray in our beard here.
Yeah.
That was not the thing.
Not at all.
You know, when I went to school, if you had a beeper, you were the drug dealer, and you were going to get suspended, and you're busted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So pagers were out of the question when I went to school.
Yes.
Today, everybody has one of these.
Right.
Right.
Everybody has one of these. And what used to be, hey, Dave, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Lorraine, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You tell them, they tell them, blah, blah, blah. It takes a minute for it to get all
Right.
situated throughout. Now they go like that, and it hits 3,000 people.
Wildfire.
Wow.
Yeah, it spreads like wildfire. And the social media will turn a campus on its lid in no time.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely no time.
How do you mean? I mean,
If someone says that they're going to come on campus anonymously, they call it something, there's one, for example, called an airdrop. Only iPhoners have this, but it's called an airdrop. So someone can anonymously put something out to 25, 50, 75, 100 people just like that.
Oh, wow.
And they could say something anonymously. So, hey, hang out tomorrow. I'm going to be here tomorrow and shoot this school up. There's an example of something that happened in our school last year.
wow.
Hang out tomorrow. It's going to be fun because I'm going to come back and shoot the school up. Well, let me tell you something. That turns our school's security and deputy on its lid. That's not something that's legal. You can't do that.
No.
You know what
I
I'm
wouldn't
saying?
think
So we have to now go backwards and figure out, okay, you have it on your phone. Let me see your phone. How did this
Wow.
get here? And now we got to figure out where it's coming from. Is it a real threat?
How do you even
Is
do
it?
that?
I mean, yeah, it's an all-day affair, or sure can be. And time is not always on your side.
Right.
Believe me, that bell's going to ring. That bell's going to ring, and it's going to ring to where now everybody's out. School day's over. So now 3,200 kids at Quartz Hill decide that they want to go home now.
Right.
So what do 3,200 kids do when they're together? Whatever they want.
Yeah.
Whatever they
Wow.
want, as long
And-
as they know how to get her done.
You know, bullying when we were young was just some butthead.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm small.
Sure.
I'm 5'2".
Sure.
When I was in 6th grade, I was
Right.
less than 5'2".
Sure.
And weighed 80 pounds.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And people would push me around and everything. Eventually, I just learned how to fight and started hitting back.
Right.
I just had enough. It's like, I'm done.
Right, but how did that happen? You fought back because that bully was in your face. That bully was right there up against you.
Right.
Cyberbullying takes place now where they can be 100 miles away
Right.
and say, I'm going to kick your Yahoo, and maybe show up the next day, maybe not.
Well, and just the pressure too. Now it's all about the perfect selfie. I didn't get included in the group thing or whatever.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
there's
that's-
so much more peer pressure.
Yeah, that he said, she said, she said, she said, he said, he said is just off the charts. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
But the bullying is something that is absolutely, it is intolerable on any high school campus, but I can say especially at Quartz Hill High School, it is not tolerated whatsoever. If we find out that there's a true blue bullying situation going on, we address the matter, and we address it sternly because it's not funny.
No, it's not.
It drives
No, it's
people
not.
to do things that people that are not bullied don't even understand what it's like.
Right.
To be bullied and to get to that edge, to
Oh, it
get to the
sucks.
top where they just want to end it all. It's happened.
Yeah.
It has
this is not
happened.
new.
And again, back in our day, nobody really committed suicide over being bullied. You didn't really hear about that.
Well, you didn't
Right.
hear about it if they did.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
sure didn't hear about it.
Man, I don't think it really happened anywhere near to the extreme it does today. You know, I mean, it's just tragic.
Yeah.
It
You know, for somebody to be so mean to people, shred them on social media. I mean, it's one thing to push somebody in the school lot or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Be cool to all your buddies.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To poke them in the eye, you know, punch them in the eye or whatever
Right.
like that. But yeah, it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it just so happens that we have a new friend of the show
We do.
Oh,
that's an expert on bullying. So why don't we pay a little visit to Joseph?
Cool.
Hi, my name is Joseph Charles Lamont. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist for 45 years approximately. I'm going to talk to you today about bullying, and I'm going to give you a surefire way. All you bullies, if you're paying attention, please listen. And this is going to help you not want to be a bully and to choose assertive communication. I totally guarantee. You may ask how can I guarantee, but I can. So we don't want you to be passive. We don't want you to be a doormat, because that stems from low self-esteem in younger childhood and leads to worse self-esteem. Okay? We don't want you to be aggressive, because aggressive is not right for relationships, intimate friendships, and things like that. It's okay for the NFL, the NBA, and Major League Baseball, and any kind of aggressive hockey sports or whatever. But it's not okay. So what we're talking, to be assertive, we're going to teach you how to feel strong, be humble, live by the golden rule. The golden rule is you treat other people the way you want them to treat you. So you give an example, and people will respect you, and you will also respect yourself and the other person. To use an old word that parents used to use and we don't use anymore because we have so many buzzwords in psychology today. Learn to be proud of yourself. That's what you want to feel. Proud of yourself for going out into the world every day. And that raises your self-esteem. And no way will you want to be a bully. So you can say yes to the world, yes to other people, yes to differences between you and others. And it's a win-win situation. I use Rocky Balboa as my model. Rocky is strong, humble, follows the golden rule, does respect himself and other people, and is tough and strong. So how can you not want that for yourself, to be tough and strong, humble, respectful, all the good things that make you feel good about yourself 95% of the time? This is a winner. And you bullies out there, pay attention, okay? Don't be cowardly. Be strong. Be assertive. Be the best you can possibly be. Okay? Deal? All right.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Joseph.
Yeah,
So all you bullies out there, please, just try to be good people.
at least.
Yeah.
Well, and there's other issues at hand here, too. The schools are in trouble.
Yes, they are. In fact, according to proliteracy.org, the United States is facing a literacy crisis. Yes, crisis. It isn't new, but its impact upon our kids, our economy, and our society are far-reaching and expanding.
Well, and how bad is it? Over 30 million adults in the United States aren't able to read, write, or do basic math above a third grade level. How do you function? How
That's
do you
terrible.
get a job that means anything?
I mean, that's crazy.
Tell me about it.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist. I mean, you don't need to know trigonometry. Look, putting a craft on the surface of Mars and navigating it and everything, super big stuff. Writing a novel, you know what I mean, about science or just something huge or a really in-depth story, again, but we're talking basic math, basic reading.
Third grade level, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
I think part of the problem really is that so much of the curriculum in the high school level is focused on going to college, which certainly nothing wrong with that. But let's face it, not every kid that goes to school, I was certainly in the mix, wants to go to college or is even college material to begin with.
Sure.
What I think would be nice to see back, and it takes nothing but money, is some vocational electives that a kid could learn in high school, like welding,
Right.
like a mechanic, like electronics, something like that, that would encourage them to go into those fields that we need also.
Well, I, for one, learned how to weld at Blair High in Pasadena.
There you go.
Bonenberger was the coolest teacher, taught me how to weld, and I furthered my education with that by going to community college, taking some classes. I worked in some backyard fab shops and stuff like that, building hot rods and modifying vehicles and stuff like that. I did that for quite some years. And I mean, I can't tell you how much money I put on my table throughout the years because of a very sweet man by the name of Bonenberger at Blair High.
Right.
He saw my interest in it.
Right.
He took me aside and, and taught me.
Right.
And that was great. And forever thanks, Bon, if you're still around with us.
Roger that. And,
Yeah.
But it's funny this topic should come up because we were actually having this conversation amongst ourselves at the school not very long ago. And it had everything to do with such a college-based curriculum rather than anything else for somebody who's not interested.
Right.
And if they're not interested, they show it. They don't go to class.
Right.
Why would they want to go to algebra when they know damn well they're not going to use it?
Right.
They know this. They're 15, 16, and 17 years old, and they already know, I'm not going into a field that's going to require algebra. Therefore, the interest goes down the tubes.
Sure.
So they do everything they can to cause mischief so that they can get maybe even kicked out of that class.
Right.
Or what the teacher would like to do is just burn that kid along. Yeah, okay, I know you're not all that great. Look, here's a D.
Yeah, so
Have a nice
so
day.
I don't get you next year.
Right.
Well, again, here's my story. Okay, I was one of those kids who needs history. Well, I'm here to tell everybody. Everybody needs history. We should all have basic history under our belt with a basic understanding
I agree.
of how this land was obtained.
I agree.
At least.
Right.
More would be better, but I did not do the reports. I did not read the books. I was a goof off. I smarted off to get sent to the dean. I'm exactly what you were talking about.
Sure.
But
sure.
you know, too,
And I'm sorry, real quick
go
though,
ahead.
I regret it.
Right.
Yeah.
I really do regret it. I should have had my butt in that class.
Right.
I should have read the books and all of that, and I didn't.
I was just going to say the trade schools are important because, you know, you don't always know yourself. Like, I didn't like school when I
Right.
was in school. When I went back as an adult later, when I had calmness in my life, somebody that was supporting me, I loved it. I
Sure.
actually made the dean's list.
Sure.
You know, but I was in my 40s.
But
and
you
it was-
wanted to do
I
it.
wanted
Right.
to do it.
Right.
Yeah, that's the difference.
I think that's a big difference.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of kids that just show up late every day
Right.
tells you right there, they're not getting paid for this. I tell them all the time, come on, you're late, let's go, you're late. What if this was your job? I tell these kids on their way in. What if this was your job? They're saying, well, if I was getting paid to do it, I'd be there on time. They're not getting paid to go to school, at least monetarily.
No, the school's getting paid to
They
have them
don't.
come
The
to
school's
school.
getting paid, right? But they're also being paid the student in a way that it's hard for them to have a perspective of,
Yes.
because they've not had to have their own mortgage payment. They've not had to have worry about getting food on the table for their kids.
Right.
They don't have that perspective,
Or even just themselves.
even themselves.
Well, some of those kids are coming to school hungry.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
You bet.
I mean, it said that 1 in 6 kids are facing hunger
You
in
bet.
this country.
You bet.
That's
We have the
crazy.
highest, by the way, this is a nifty little stat, and we see it on the school campus every day. We have the highest population of foster kids in the Antelope Valley in the entire LA County
Wow.
Wow.
is in the Antelope Valley.
Interesting.
And we have a lot of those kids that come to our school.
Wow.
You know, a lot of those kids come to our school. Some of them are great kids,
Sure.
and some of them are struggling. And
Well,
it's
they come
just they're in the
from
system.
Difficult situations.
They are
to say the
absolutely,
least.
yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Which then causes the difficult situation. Typically, is what causes these violent outlashes against their fellow human, their student, their teacher, their security, their whoever you're talking about here that's on a school campus at any given time. Could be the custodian. It could be a freshman. It just doesn't matter who's in the way.
There's not enough people to actually track it, to actually notice probably.
Probably not.
People fall through the gaps.
Sure.
But again, 1 in 6 kids going to school hungry. I know teachers that
Oh yeah.
that bring food. They feed
Sure.
their students.
Sure.
You know, because it's just
Well, how do you concentrate if you're hungry? I mean,
Right.
you know,
Precisely.
I grew up poor.
Students
you grew
know
up
that.
poor, but we always had food. I mean, that was
Right.
never.
I should have said teachers know that, and there's even I mean I have some anecdotal evidence on some of that too, where a student where every Tuesday and Thursday when their folks had to leave early to go to LA to go to work, these kids weren't feeding themselves, they weren't getting themselves out of bed in time, and then they go to school and get in trouble on Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
And the teacher finally is going, wait a minute, Tuesday and Thursday, what's the deal here?
Right.
And then come to realize, mom and dad are bailing after we've talked to dad. Oh yeah, Tuesday, yeah, we're gone early those days, so those kids aren't eating. So what Miss Teacher did was, had some granola, best investment she said she's ever done.
Yeah.
Granola bars and juice.
wow.
Here you go, son. Have that. That kid was great the rest of the day.
Wow.
Because he had some nourishment in him.
Right.
We've had kids pass out
Wow.
because they don't have any nourishment in them, and then they go to school. And they may not have
That
slept
is-
well. They may not have done anything right in the last 24 hours,
Right.
nutritionally speaking. And then they get to school, still haven't eaten, and hit the deck.
Yeah, they're not
Wow.
interested in books.
We see
or
it a
anything.
lot.
Yeah.
We see it
That's
a lot.
terrible.
And then one of the first questions I have when I roll up in that sort of a first aid medical situation was, did you eat this morning?
Right.
If they say yes, then I kind of want to wonder, what did you eat this morning? Because it may have been an edible,
A candy bar.
Oh,
or
wow.
a
something.
candy bar,
Yeah.
a gummy bear, something that is
Yeah.
laced with THC.
Wow.
And some kids
I didn't even think
ingest the
about that.
stuff. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that because
Yeah, it's a factor. It's a factor.
We didn't have that in school.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we used to buy doobies.
Sure.
You know, we had people we used to buy doobies from and stuff like that.
But it was a very specific thing. It
Yeah.
was marijuana plant rolled up in a paper.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, that's not necessarily the case today.
Yeah, what a
And
trip,
it's
man.
prominent. It's out there. It's wax. It's edibles. It's, of course, plant. But these things are hard to determine if you can't give the almighty smell test.
Right.
Right.
If they've ingested something, now you got to look at the eyes, the cotton mouth,
Yeah.
the certain color that
And
they
make
turn.
judgments based on. Yeah, you're not a doctor.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
no, I'm not. But at the same time, we're certainly trained to recognize
Sure.
drug symptoms that may indicate that somebody is on a marijuana high or a methamphetamine high.
Wow.
You know, maybe even an opiate high.
Wow.
You know, there's
Meth in
something else
schools.
prominent. Yeah, meth in schools. I mean, it's not as prominent as it once was, but it's still there.
it's good.
Cocaine's making a hell of a comeback.
Wow.
I can't believe how much cocaine's out there.
Wow.
It's amazing, actually.
See,
And the whole
look at that.
THC thing's just off the charts.
Well, the THC thing for sure, but you know, we're just out of the loop as far as drugs in school. Because
Right.
there was
I was too for a while.
Yeah.
Now that I'm back in this loop, it's pretty unbelievable what these kids get their hands on. It's unbelievable, and how much of it
Wow.
they get their hands on. It's really remarkable. It's pretty remarkable.
Wow, that's crazy.
Public school's a different animal than it was
Very,
for
very
us.
different animal. Very
times
different
definitely
animal.
changed, man. That's
Yeah, and you think yourself safe in these places, and I'm here to tell you, you got to keep your head on a swivel. And we do. We keep our head on a swivel because there's, like I said earlier in the show, I have a set of handcuffs. That's it. And I can use those handcuffs, but it's got to be a really, really good reason
Kind of limited.
to have to, yeah, very limited. And again, highly trained on when to use those.
Right.
You have to be because,
Wow.
you know, our number one job really is safety.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Our number two job is liability, to
Yeah.
keep the district out of court. That's
Wow.
really our number two job. It really is.
Well,
And so we
man.
have to be careful in that regard.
Sure.
For not only what's going on the campus, but how we respond to it.
Well, thanks for keeping our kids safe.
We sure try.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
We sure try. It's a valiant effort. And it's a
Well-
daily effort.
we definitely appreciate that, and that brings us up to our charity of the week.
Yes.
This is our first charity of the week, and our charity of the week is No Kid Hungry.
Yeah.
They're helping out the kids.
They
What do
are.
they do?
Well, they provide school breakfast, summer meals. Because, I mean, if you think about it, if a kid's getting some kind of meal at school,
Sure.
then summer comes along, that's gone.
Sure.
After school meals, because again, that after school snack. If
Snack,
that's-
you bet.
Yeah, you know, it's a long time between school ending and then dinner time.
Sure it is.
You know, so they're a great organization, and they do a lot to help out the kids. To find out more, you can check out their website, nokidhungry.org.
Yeah, and you know, if you have a few bucks, by all means, throw it their way. They're really trying and doing some good stuff.
Yeah,
That's outstanding.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
a good charity.
Well, we'll be right back. We got to pay some bills. Welcome back. It's time for our Far Out Food Fact from Healthline.com. There are 7 proven health benefits to dark chocolate,
Awesome.
supported by science, mind you.
Here, here.
I mean, this is
Scientific.
science.
I like
Scientific.
science.
Me too.
too.
I love science. One is it's very nutritious. It's also a powerful source of antioxidants, which we need. All the antioxidants we can get. We
Oh,
need
yeah.
them. Lots.
We do.
Little soldiers.
Lots. Yes. It may also improve blood flow and lower blood pressure, raise HDL, and protect LDL from oxidation. It may reduce heart disease risk as well.
Wow. And it may protect your skin from the sun. It could improve brain function. And check this out. Chocolate also contains phenylethylamine. And that's a compound that you and I, and even Clyde, produce when we're in love. So a few squares of dark chocolate daily can give you that happy glow. For a more detailed look at this article, check out the link on our website, whatsthedealpc.com.
Yes. But make sure you choose quality chocolate with 70% cocoa or higher. Because that
Good
makes it.
stuff.
I'm running after some stock in Hershey. is what I'll be doing.
Godiva.
I love dark chocolate.
It's good.
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
it?
That is my
my favorite.
favorite. I'm telling you, dark chocolate. I
Yes.
love it.
Dark chocolate with nuts.
I
Any
don't
kind
even
of
like
nuts.
Right.
milk chocolate anymore. To me, it's too sweet.
I don't like milk chocolate. I don't like the texture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the texture of the dark chocolate and
Yeah.
the flavor. So it's a win-win for me.
And
Yeah.
it's sweet.
Love it.
Milk chocolate, but milk chocolate for me is too sweet.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I like
Yeah, it's
dark
a nice
chocolate,
mix.
and again with nuts,
Yeah, here.
or like English toffee.
And to a degree, it's good for you, brother.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need more of it.
Well, dark chocolates typically contain some sugar, but the amounts are usually small. And the darker the chocolate, the less sugar it contains.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's why milk chocolate evidently is sweeter.
Yeah.
Here.
We even put it in our oatmeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Little
It's
bit
a
of
great
dark
idea.
Yeah. It's good.
I'm not
it is.
afraid to dump some in the coffee either.
Yeah.
Been known to do
there
it.
you go.
Been known to do it.
I like
Try
chocolate
that.
coffee.
Yeah, I do.
Chocolate coffee is cool.
Yeah,
Square
I've done
in
it
the
from time to
espresso.
time.
Yeah. The Frappuccino at Starbucks
Oh, wow.
with like 3 shots,
There you
little
go.
sugar blast,
Dark chocolate.
all of that.
Good
Love
stuff.
it.
Well, I guess that about wraps up this exciting episode.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it really was.
It's been great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh,
Appreciate coming
Should
out.
come back.
You know what? One thing I forgot to mention.
What's that?
You also have another talent as a vocalist. You sing national anthems.
Yes,
Do
you
indeed.
do.
Yeah. He sings the
That's so
national
cool.
anthem at like monster truck things.
I do, yeah. Nationwide, as a matter of fact. It's
Awesome.
quite a highlight of my musical career, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
To
That's
go
not
into
an
some of
easy
these
song.
towns. No, it's not. It's really quite a range for a
Yeah.
vocalist to be able to perform.
Yes, it is a difficult song.
It really is.
It is. It's tough.
But to get the reactions that I've gotten throughout the country, literally 4 corners and everywhere in between,
Yeah.
has been amazing.
Well, I
It's
could see
been
you
amazing.
knocking that out. You've
Yeah,
got
it's a
good
lot of
voice.
fun. It's a lot of
That's
fun.
cool.
Well, we don't have time to show anything right now, but do you have something to bounce over that? We
Sure,
could-
go to Clyde Merrick YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
There's several on there from Denver and Fargo, Sioux Falls, Anaheim,
Nice.
places like that where I've
Awesome.
done monster jams and
We'll put
had
that
the
link on
thrill
our
of
site.
doing
Yeah,
the
we'll try and
Star Spangled
We'll
Banner.
try and find that and
Yeah, check it out. It's
Put a
lot-
link on our site for
yeah,
everybody
do
to
that.
check out.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
all right. Well,
Awesome.
I guess that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging with us. Be safe, please be kind, and we'll see you on the next one.
This has been a Westworks Live production.